So Jinwoo returns to the flaming dungeon where he left off last time, the 76th floor to be exact. This like tower portal of energy just takes him there. He's just met with demons on demons on demons. That special orb he had, he gave it to Tusk, the high orc sorcerer, who's standing directly across from all those demons. He uses it to like charge up for just one-shotting everything that was in this path. You can see Jinwoo's experience just went up like that. Even Jinwoo gotta shield himself from it because the blast is crazy. He's just gonna let him have the orb for now because bro. Then it cuts over to Jinho's dad waking up in the hospital, and the doctor said he passed out for 2 days. He asked, did you find anything wrong with the blood tests? He says, no, but have you been around a hunter recently? He's like, what the fuck that got to do with anything? Then asks if he's heard of the eternal slumber, the same shit that Jinwoo's mom fell into, where people who just can't handle magical energy just fall into a coma and can't wake up. They constantly feel sleepy and drowsy until they just don't wake up again. But again, he says, what does this have to do with hunters? He explains again that it's from exposure to magical energy. So is anyone in your family a hunter? Of course, his son, who he sees damn near every day, is one. He's just like, damn, because as time moves forward, magical energy just becomes more prominent in the world, and the numbers of hunters are increasing as well. So for me to be unable to handle magical energy, he truly starts to feel obsolete, like he's falling behind. Then it cuts over to one of Japan's islands. It shows an ant from that deserted island with the S-rank dungeon making landfall. It shows these two hunters chatting in this pretty remote city. He's joking, saying that if a gate appeared here, they would all be annihilated. They're both just a D and E rank who patrol around to let anybody know if something happens. As they're talking, they notice somebody walking down on them. I really can't believe they looked this in the face and asked, who are you? Then it cuts back to Jinwoo in the dungeon, and they're just doing the demons crazy. For some reason, he can't extract their shadows, so he can't make a big ass army. For now, he just splits up his current forces to 6 different teams and gives each star their own squad. He tells them to split up and take out everybody they can find, and to tell him when they find the entry permit, so that he can move on to the next floor. Again, this is so cool, he just got a whole secret fucking service. As soon as they take off, he starts leveling up, so he don't even gotta do shit to gain experience anymore. Since they're stronger, they're not costing him energy by getting destroyed. They can really just run around and do all the searching for him while he sits back and drinks potions. It shows that a few days pass of them doing this. Since they were doing all the work, all the soldiers leveled up like shit. Now he got to floor 80 faster than he expected. He's been here for 2 days and still hasn't found the entry permit for the next floor. Was there somebody strong that he still has to beat? As he's thinking this, he starts to notice his energy going down, meaning that somebody is destroying his shadows. And it's coming from where Iron's team is, so they gotta be strong as shit, as his energy is just crashing further and further. So he recalls all his shadows so he doesn't lose his mana. But the ambushes on his soldiers continue through the next day, and he realizes that somebody is systematically picking apart his teams, only attacking squads that they can win against, so they have some form of intelligence. And he figures that their next target has to be Tank and the Bears, so he uses his stealth to hide, and he was right. A bunch of demon knights pull up on horses and waste no time tearing the ice bears a new one. Oof. But Jinwoo's like, no wonder we was getting cooked. Y'all don't stand a chance, as he undoes his stealth and comes out the shadows. He notices and charges right for him, but Jinwoo ducks that shit and then does his best Blue Lock impression on the knight's head. Literally says he killed the nigga on impact, slamming his head into the ground. Then the other two try to follow up, but gang just disappears and is just right on them. Slice and dice, come on, you know the drill. So now there's only one left and it's just standing there. Jinwoo says, I was wondering if monsters could feel fear, but now I'm certain, because it's just standing there shaking. He squares up with it. Now it's trying to rapid fire stab him in his shit, but it's looking like he got Ultra Instinct in his inventory, and they're giving him the coldest panels like bro. But he notices that it's accurately aiming for his vital spots, so he says fuck this and just breaks its sword with his own dagger. Then he grabs it up by the face and goes to finish it, but it yells, I give up. But he's just like, huh? How a demon knight gonna call time out? But then he takes off its helmet and realizes that it's actually a girl demon, and she's apologizing, saying, we were in the wrong, we're sorry, please spare my life. But bro, you attacked my soldiers and now you're asking for forgiveness? She says, I'm sorry, I committed a grave sin. But she says it's her clan's job to protect the area, so we can't just let somebody come through and kill all the demons. And again, she just asks for forgiveness. He said, is it okay for you to be begging for your life like that? Like, didn't I just kill your men? But she says a knight's duty is to protect their master, so the other knights will be happy that she's safe. And Jinwoo just doesn't know how to feel, because she's a selfish demon, but he doesn't really want to kill her because she looks like a person. But while he's struggling with that, all she sees is an opening to attack. She tries to stab him from behind, but come on now, what do you think you're doing? Tusk got his back and he don't even gotta pay attention. She just falls to the ground again and says, if you spare my life, I'll give you whatever you want. And he just can't tell if she's shameless or overly optimistic. But he says the entry pass to go to the next floor. Can you get it for me? As he uses the Dominator's touch to lift her in the air. And she says, yeah, because that's what her clan protects. So if he brings her back safely, he'll get the entry pass. She also knows where the entry passes are on the higher floors. And she offers to be a guide to him if he brings her back safe. So he's like, that is tempting, but the problem is if I can trust this girl or not. So he gets right up in her face and asks, can I trust you? Now, I thought he was rizzing her up or some shit, but nah, he activated his bloodlust to scare the shit out of her. And she just nervously says that she was telling the truth. But he's like, all right, bet. He just had to let her know that if she plays with him again, he's gonna kill her. But first, who are you guys? But then it cuts back to one of Japan's islands where this cop is just watching in horror as this ant eats people, and then he just happened to be next on the menu, and it shows the ant flying away as it leaves a bunch of corpses behind it. Now she tells Jinwoo her name is Esil, the oldest daughter of the Raider clan, but he's like, no, I'm not talking about that. He's trying to figure out more about the system and asks if they have a voice in their head that's telling them to constantly kill humans. So she has to think for a second like, no, but we hear a different type of voice, telling them to protect the area that they live in. So different monsters in different locations have different objectives. And he asks, when did she start hearing the voices? And she says the moment they opened up their eyes, which surprises Jinwoo, because where were you guys before your eyes were opened? And she says they lived in the demon realm, and then they just ended up here. But what were y'all doing in the demon world? And her eyes like glitch as she says war. We're preparing for war. After telling him that, the system starts like glitching and she starts sweating and getting a headache before just fainting, and he has to catch her. He notices the system reacted strongly to just the mention of this war and the enemy. If that enemy has a transcendent power and is trying to influence me or the earth for some reason, then the enemies that the demons fought, maybe they're the key? He's just trying to piece this whole shit together. Then it cuts back to the real world and these hunters are getting dog walked. This guy yelling for reinforcements just to get his head chopped off. They notice the ant attacked the healer first on purpose. This flying monstrosity has intelligence as well. It's actually the top hunter organizations reviewing the footage of it. A total of 6 hunters were killed, 4 E ranks, 1 D rank, and 1 C rank by that one singular ant. They needed an A rank hunter just to kill it. Since the ants can fly over waters, they're all just trying to make preparations to protect their countries. But South Korea, where Jinwoo's from, doesn't have any nation-level hunters to protect them. Pretty much all the other countries just prioritize their own safety. Woojin tells him that there's somebody else who reached out to them in top secrecy, that it's Hwang Dong-soo, the nigga that's trying to kill Jinwoo. The chairman's surprised, but then he reads it immediately that he's just trying to get to Jinwoo. It turns out he's not the only one that reached out to them, as it shows this giant-ass human looking for the chairman. It cuts back to the demon girl waking up. She really has no idea why she got sent back to the lobby. He says it doesn't look like demons are very friendly to one another, because this whole mountain of them were trying to kill her while she was sleeping. She's really just surprised he protected her, then thanks him and says all demons don't view each other as the same race. Jinwoo's just trying to get on with the entry pass into the next floor. So it cuts to them arriving at her home. She's taking him to meet her dad. But the guards are like, who the fuck is this nigga? She says he's a special guest and to show some courtesy. They make it to the throne room and Jinwoo's just thinking that if he fought his way here, then it would have been a boss battle. Her father is just looking at her like, yo, who in the fuck are you bringing into my house? Now she tried to say he a guest, but what kind of guest comes to somebody's house with a whole army? Esil, you can't see it with your eyes? There are countless soldiers hidden in that man's shadow. Jinwoo's like, damn, he must got some good insight. And the guards immediately turn their weapons on him. But he says, I promised your daughter I will leave this place quietly if you just give me the entry pass. And that's when her father puts it together that he's the one that's been going around killing all the demons, destroying a bunch of other clans on his way, and their clan just happens to be the weakest. He's like, the entry pass, is that all you want? He's like, yeah, but one more thing. He puts his hand around Esil and says, I want to borrow her for a bit. Which actually does sound kind of fucking crazy. He's just thinking about the entry passes and using her to get to the next floors. But her dad over here like, what the fuck? borrow my daughter? Then it cuts to them having a discussion over dinner just to clarify what exactly Jinwoo meant by borrowing her. It's not like he was trying to fight him anyway because Jinwoo's fucking busted. You're gonna protect my daughter from danger, right? He says yes, but really he's just laughing in his head because of how ironic it is that a monster worries about his daughter. So he calls over this assistant. Jinwoo takes the entry pass. He's like, all right, you ready to dip? She says, yep. The system tells him that someone has requested to join his party, that it's possible for them to share experience. He tells her if there's a battle, make sure not to interfere because he wants all the experience for himself. She just blushes and agrees like, what are we doing? Jinwoo just looking at her, but I'm not gonna lie, I might have had to save the game right here. So Jinwoo enters the demon castle with my boo thing over here, but she tells him to hold up a second as she takes her bag off, because her father gave her gifts for the other clans that could make negotiations go over smoother. So Jinwoo asks if they're already friendly with this clan, but she says, nah, like there's no war or anything, but we're not necessarily homies. So Jinwoo says, don't worry about it, just wait here, as he approaches that clan's castle. R.I.P. them. And it cuts over to the chairman having a conversation with this nation-level hunter who's affiliated with Hwang Dong-soo, the nigga that's trying to kill Jinwoo. But he already knows about the trouble Hwang Dong-soo is causing, so he just came to ask the chairman that they deny him access back into Korea so that he can't get to Jinwoo, but whole time they already did that shit. So they just shake hands and exchange pleasantries, and he says he'll call the chairman if he needs anything else. And the chairman just like, damn, because he feels like a kid in front of this nigga. But he also says he heard about the Jeju Island shit that we're trying to deal with, but it's just a shame that you guys can't afford me. Then he just dips off to go catch a flight. And then it cuts back to the flaming demon castle, and Jinwoo's just leveling up like rapid fire because the demons are higher ranks. We got Egress to the max prestige, and Tank big ass maxed out too. His top 2 Pokemon are level 100, and the system tells him that they're requesting to be promoted, and Jinwoo accepts their request, so they dead ass start digivolving right in front of him and send 2 pillars of shadow high into the sky. And ooh-wee, Egress is dripped out, his aura on a whole nother level. I'm not gonna lie, Tank, you look the fucking same. She interrupts like, Mr. Jinwoo, do you know how many clans you destroyed so far? And he's like, well, probably about 9. She's saying from this point forward, the difficulty is going to ramp up. His high-ranking clan leaders are all he's about to fight. She says maybe he could persuade them like he did with her people. He's like, bro, if I was weaker than your clan, would you guys have negotiated with me? And it clicks for her like, damn, yep, that's just how it is. He says he's gonna purposely boost her clan to the highest one. She's really just riding with him as he takes out all her enemies. Says, Jinwoo, sir, why did you excuse my clan? He just keeps it a buck, because I took a liking to you. Again, I'm not gonna lie, I would have saved the game right here. But he just notices how she's kind of similar in personality to Jinho, that he might be compatible with these type of people. Right. He just keeps speed running through the demons, and now he's level 90 and they're on the 97th floor. She's just watching like, damn, are other humans as strong as you? He's like, maybe about 2 or 3 people. The chairman and Shahei-en feel stronger than the other S ranks. Ultimately, it's immeasurable how big the power gaps are. He used to be on par with the chairman, but now he's in a whole nother league. Jinwoo tells her to go back home and that he can take care of himself. I'll take 2. I'll take 2, my nigga. What? Am I no longer useful to you? He's just like, damn, she was mad interesting to the very end, but you've done well until now, so thank you for your help. She's just looking sad. Says, nah, fuck that, I want to come with you. I want to see the outcome of your fight. Jinwoo just look at her like, well, alright. Says, do as you please, as they go to the 98th floor. Then it cuts to this dude in a suit who just landed at the airport. He's an S-rank hunter, Koto Ryuji. Somebody's already there waiting to guide him to the chairman. But now they're just sitting across from each other, but they don't speak the same language. He's from Japan. The chairman and Jinwoo are based in Korea, but he can tell immediately that he's no ordinary man. He's the leader of the Draw Sword Guild. Now Japan has 21 S-rank hunters, and 11 of them are a part of his guild. Pretty much the biggest one in all of Asia. This assistant is here to translate the conversation. They came to form an alliance because they heard about that ant that left Jeju Island. He wants to team up their powerful hunters and attack the ant's nest. Now the chairman says it's too dangerous, but they already have a plan because each ant only lives for 1 year. So if they're able to take out the queen within a year, the rest of them will die naturally. The chairman still doesn't know about that because you'd still have to get through thousands of ants just to make it to the queen. But he says all 3 times they tried to raid the island, as soon as they they touched down, the ants just came out and abandoned their tunnels, swarm and kill everybody immediately, which leaves an opening for the queen to be attacked. He says 10 of his 11 S-rank hunters are ready to get in on this, that they'll be responsible for getting all the ants' attention while the South Korean forces go inside and kill the queen. The chairman's just trying to figure out why he's so ready to support them and help out. It turns out all he's worried about is becoming a nation-level hunter. Completing this S-rank dungeon should boost him to that status. The chairman doesn't know about it because he doesn't know if they can keep up their end of the bargain and take out the queen. It's definitely possible with Jin Woo, but we don't know where that nigga is. The ants are just continuing to evolve. He just says they'll look over it and review a plan. It cuts back to... They're so cute, bro. She's so cute. Yeah, he's level 93 now. They've reached floor 100 of the demon castle. He notices some kind of dragon flying in the air. It perches itself on this building. There he is, the demon king Baran. Jin Woo can just feel the aura difference, like he don't even know if he can win.